I am Unbreakable Man! Nope. Stupid name for a superhero. Unbreakable, released in 2000 and is directed by Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. I'm sorry, but every time I see his name, I just have to pronounce it like that. And he is the mastermind behind such films as The Sixth Sense, Signs, The Village, and a whole bunch of other crappy ones. The film stars Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and Robin Wright Penn. Never knew she was married to Sean Penn. That had to be rough. This film doesn't have a big cast, but it's a very powerful one. In Unbreakable, we follow the main character, David, and he's traveling back home from a job interview via train. However, his train gets derailed and is involved in a major crash, killing everyone on board except for David. In fact, David walks away from this crash without a single bone broken or a single scratch on him. Sheesh. I'll have what he's having. So after David gets back home, after some time goes by, he is approached by a man called Elijah, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and he is a rare comic book art collector. My kind of guy. And he gives David the idea that because he walked away from the crash unscathed, that he has some kind of superhuman abilities that he should use to protect people just like a comic book superhero. Now, of course, David doesn't believe him because we need some sort of conflict in this movie. But then David starts looking into his past and he tries to figure out if anything like this has happened before. Now, because this is an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie, I kind of have to stop right there so I don't spoil the special twist at the end. However, out of all of the twist endings that he has in his movies, this one is probably the most subdued one. Now, there was a time when an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie was coming out into movie theaters. That was the movie to go see. Everyone wanted to see it. Probably because they didn't want the ending spoiled by their friends who went to see it opening weekend. He had a string of like 3 or 4 movies that were generally well received by the audience. He came onto the scene with Sixth Sense, which was nominated for Best Picture, actually. Then he followed that up with Unbreakable. Then he had Signs, and then The Village, which is kind of hit or miss. But then people started shying away from Shyamalan Ding Dong movies because those twist endings started becoming very tiresome and honestly kind of stupid. Personally, I feel that all this kind of was attributed to that magazine article that read like this. That's a pretty tall order. I feel like that magazine title kind of went to his head because every movie that came out after Signs and The Village just kind of seemed like the dialogue was off and the twist endings were just dumb, to be honest. And then he stopped getting great performances out of his actors.
Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah. And then he made The Last Airbender that a lot of people would have on their list of worst movies ever made. And it's complete blasphemy to the original property. But good for him though, he's come back onto the scene with films such as The Visit and most recently Split. Because those movies have a similar tone to his first original 3 hits. In particular, Unbreakable. Shyamalan Ding Dong can be a great director, and those people who are big fans of his would probably point to Unbreakable as his best picture he's ever made. I love all the unique shots that he finds in his movies. The movie opens and we are watching Bruce Willis through a pair of seats on the train, and it's revealed that the camera is from the point of view of a little girl in the seat ahead of Willis. It pans from side to side as Willis's character is talking with the woman next to him. There's also a great shot of Willis waking up in the hospital after the train crash. And what you see is Willis's character in the background talking to the doctor, and in the foreground we see the other survivor of the crash on the operating table bleeding out. It's a beautiful shot, and it goes to show you how innovative Shyamalan Ding Dong can be. If only you would have stayed like that. Bruce Willis plays a very reserved character in this movie. His character is not flashy in any way. He's not looking for fame or fortune. He just wants to be with his family, stay in the shadows, and protect people. And also, Bruce Willis is not sleepwalking through this movie. So that's nice. But the main standout in this movie has to be Samuel L. Jackson's character, Elijah. Elijah's character suffers from a rare bone disease that causes his bones to be very fragile and break very easily. They actually break on a regular basis. One thing I can't stand to hear in movies is bones breaking. And because of this disease, he is made fun of for the majority of his life. The kids call me Mr. Glass. But as an escape from this, Elijah delves into the magical world of comic books and researches them his entire life. Again, my kind of guy. And he believes that comic books are exaggerations of real-life people and real-life events. Now, of course, people don't run around in flashy costumes and leaping tall buildings in a single bound. The real-life people that comic books are based on are less flashy and more subdued than that. Now, I love comic books and I love superheroes, and I love that theory that Elijah has. And his theory is also a great metaphor for the standing of this movie amongst the others in the superhero genre. You can have flashy, over-exaggerated superheroes like Spider-Man, Batman, or Wonder Woman, but this superhero origin story is not about all that flash and grandeur. It is about a real-life person in a real-life situation. It's more about substance and finding out what a real-life person would do if they found out that they had superhero abilities like this. Now, this movie is very instrumental in the development of the superhero comic book genre that we have today. Before the year 2000, we had to wait several years to get a superhero movie. And the ones that we got were all the big mainstream ones like Superman and Batman. Superman came out in 1978, and how great and influential that one was at the time, its visual effects have not aged well. And then we had the 1989 Batman movie that was done in the Tim Burton universe. A lot of crazy and wacky stuff. And then we had the Schumacher Batman movies, and we don't want to talk about those. Before the year 2000, comic book movies and superhero movies were kind of set in their own little universe. Meaning that when the movies are being made, they were made as comic book movies. But then in the year 2000, filmmakers and studios started taking comic book movies a little bit more seriously. In 2000, we got two great superhero movies. The first one, X-Men, and then this one, Unbreakable. Even this is a great metaphor to what Elijah said about superheroes in this movie. We had X-Men, that was the more flashy, more famous superhero movie. And then we had Unbreakable, kind of the more realistic superhero take. And again, because of the serious nature of these two films, it is why we have the MCU, we have the X-Men franchise, and the DCEU today. However, I'm very surprised to see that this movie didn't get the critical acclaim like The Sixth Sense did. Right now on Rotten Tomatoes, Unbreakable is only sitting at a 68%, which is still a fresh score, but still, that's freaking low. Now, of course, that's not an official score for the movie. For those of you who don't know, Rotten Tomatoes is a conglomerate of all of the certified critics in the nation. All that Rotten Tomatoes scores tells you is that 68% of critics love this movie. So it's never an official score that someone in a dark room is giving to films. Oh, this one gets 26, this one gets 68, that one gets 94. It just tells you what percent of critics love and hate the movie. Hopefully one day I'll be on there. Here's hoping. So guys, in the end, Unbreakable is a great superhero origin story that is masterfully directed and masterfully acted. And again, is one of the reasons why we have the great comic book genre that we have today. So I'm going to give Unbreakable 5 out of 5 Blu-rays. I really didn't think I was going to go that high, but no, this film absolutely deserves it, and I totally recommend it. Please go check it out. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my video where I select which movie I'm going to be watching next, so let's take a look. Ooh! Tangled! I absolutely love this movie. This movie is making me do something very weird with my hands. I don't know why I'm... I remember bawling my eyes out the first time I saw this movie, so I'm very excited to watch it again. So guys, have you seen Unbreakable? What did you think about it? Or, if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this channel, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I'm posting my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Tangled. In the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.